Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest, probably one of the shortest introductions because everyone across America who has a job, who pays taxes, and is concerned about their future knows about this man who goes by the same middle name as Smokey the Bear. Joe the Plumber!
Like standing behind podiums. I appreciate y'all showing up. I'm going to give you a couple things to think about real quick, and I really want you to think about it, and then I'll tell you a story here. Illegal immigration. $113 billion this year we spent on that. The budget. That's a joke. And Paul Ryan's budget still grows the government if you guys haven't figured that out yet. It's not good. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, it's not long for lasting right now. The economy, still a lot of people out of work. A lot of people. Then you got taxes. That's what the federal government uses to hit us over the head with. Got a lot of issues going on right now. Now, think about America as a big, gigantic bus. All of us are on it. Wheels are coming off. Windshield's cracked and dirty, can barely see it. Running out of gas. Fumes are coming up through the floorboard. You know who's driving that bus? Nah, not Obama. The Republicans and Democrats are driving that bus. You know what they're doing? They're arguing over who gets to drive that bus off the damn cliff. That's the truth the way I see it. I see a lot of Republicans and Democrats with a lot of rhetoric. Constantly saying we're going to solve your problem, then coming up short. Boehner promised $100 billion. We got a $38 billion. Ended up being $325 million. That's a joke. You know, we have a lot of problems in this country right now, and no one's getting ready to fix them. The Republicans and Democrats are arguing at our expense. Now, what are some of the bigger problems? Me personally, I think one of the biggest problems is us trying to kick God out of this country. That is one of the biggest problems. You know, we have redefined what is right and wrong by kicking God out of our country, by our politicians, by our people not being leaders, by our Christians not being leaders. You know, Christians, we hold ourselves to a different set of standards. Not better standards, but a different set of standards. We do our best to do what's right. We fail, but we still do our best to do what's right. And unfortunately, there have been a lot of failing out there lately. We don't have the Christians standing up like they should. They're thinking with their pocketbooks instead of thinking with their heart and thinking about serving God. That's a problem in this country, and it's got to be fixed. I will stand up for God. Will you guys? Thank you. Now, another problem I see that we have in this country is compromise. Republicans and Democrats are always talking about compromising. How do you compromise on right and wrong? You don't do it. We've been compromising on right and wrong for a very long time. Look where it's gotten us. You know, a lot of people say, well, Joe, you're not an expert. And I said, damn straight I'm not. Look where the experts have gotten us. You don't need to be an expert. It just talks about common sense. I'm sure every speaker before me talked about common sense, and speaker behind me is going to talk about common sense. Sooner or later, it's actually going to stick in someone's head. I mean, really, truly, you know, we need housewives, we need husbands, we need plumbers, carpenters, we need people that make a difference every day to stand up and lead this country. That's what we need. People that will not compromise on principle. Now, how do we change this country? Do we talk about the issues? Talking about the issues has gotten us nowhere. Talking about the issues, we're going to be here the next 1,000 years talking about the issues. I mean, think about it. Illegal immigration has been kicked down the road for the last 40 years, starting with Ronald Reagan. He granted amnesty and he said, here, we're going to put money to build a fence. Never got done. Same thing happened with Bush. Same thing happened with Clinton. Same thing happened with Bush again. It's not getting done. So what do? Does talking about the issues really actually make anything happen? Look at what happened with Planned Parenthood. They couldn't stand firm on that. So talking about the issues is not the way to go. My thinking, and I believe in, I'll tell you the secret of life here in a second, but my way of thinking is principles. We have to make principles popular again. That's how we're going to change things. If we make principles popular again, then we can actually change the issues. We can actually the issues will take care of themselves if we actually become a principled nation once again. Things like accountability, things like responsibility, individual responsibility. Hell, I'll ask you a question. Where would liberals be if it weren't for us? They'd be extinct. That's the God's honest truth. Think about it. They only live off our good gracious and laziness. That's how liberals live for the most part. And I'm not talking Democrats. There's a big difference. You can talk to a Democrat. You can't talk to a liberal. So you guys ready for the secret of life? It's real simple. That's what you got to tell your politicians, your leaders. Keep it simple, stupid. That is honest to God. That is the secret of life. I got a couple guns. I got a little bass boat. I got a 4x4 truck, a good woman, a great son. That's all I need. Keep it simple. I'm very, very black and white. I'm very right and wrong. There's not a lot of gray with me. Either do it or you don't. That's how, it should work. When you work, you get to keep your money. You pay the government, the taxes to keep us safe and everything, but they don't get to keep taking from us and misspending it time and time again and then telling us it's our fault. It just doesn't work that way. We have to demand more from our leaders. And that all starts with you, with being educated. Not listening to Sean Hannity and Bill O'Reilly or Rachel Maddow or Joy Behar. You have to educate yourself. Now listen, ever since I was in 3rd grade, my dad had me reading the dictionary and the newspaper side by side. When I come across a word I didn't understand, my dad said, look it up. When I wanted to build something, I had a speed bag I wanted to build for boxing. He said, well, son, do you know how to do it? I said, well, I'm just going to put these boards together. He says, no, look it up. I'm 37 years old, and the man still tells me to look it up. That is my message to you guys. You need to look it up. Don't take someone else's word for it. Educate yourself. There's plenty of opportunities out there to do so. Not through the television, what I like to call the boob tube. I mean, it really does make you stupid. You got to get on the internet. You got to get into books, preferably ones written about 20 years ago. Educate yourself. I can't stress enough. So, really, it comes down to accountability. Hold people accountable for what they do. We don't do this in most of the country. If somebody goes on a rampage and kills 7 or 8 guys, well, was his family life good? Did he grow up okay? Was his mommy and daddy mean to him? I don't give a damn if his mommy and daddy was mean to him. He just killed 7 people. Try the son of a gun. Be done with it. Hold them accountable. Individual responsibility. Individual responsibility. That's your job. It's your civic duty to make this country great. Civic duty does not mean jury duty. Civic duty means actually partaking in your country, doing what's going to help your country. You don't have to join the military. You don't have to serve in the U.S. Congress, but you have to serve. You have to educate and make good choices. We got 40 years of bad choices on our backs, 50 years of bad choices on our back. We got to educate ourselves. So individual responsibility, accountability, education, that's what we got to focus on. We focus on those 3 issues, by God, this country is going to be incredible again, and you guys will be responsible for doing it. Now, I'm not a big rah-rah guy. I don't go around chanting USA, USA. It's not for me. But by God, if someone don't take their hat off for the national anthem, I will knock the boy into the next week. I love my country, but I don't believe in chanting a lot of things because it ain't getting anything done. We got to actually get things done. Going to tea parties is all well and good, but if you go home and say, that was a good time and forget about it, you did nothing except waste my oxygen. So, have I stressed individual responsibility enough? Accountability, education, that's what it comes down to. It's very black and white, right and wrong. That's what we got to get back to the society. These are my 2 cents. Keep it simple, stupid, education. There ain't much to go on. That's it. I'll leave you with this. The last thing, there's only one word out there. There's a couple of them out there I don't like, but deserve. The only people in this country that deserve a damn thing are our United States veterans. That is it.